Hi, I'm Nestor Lázaro and I'm representing a team at the University of the Basque Country and Groningen. Our research is focused on environmental psychology applied to business. And today I'm presenting to you our last research study focused on how corporate environmental responsibility can motivate or discourage employee green behavior. Why is this study relevant? Well, if we want to reduce our environmental footprint, people should engage in a wide range of environmental behaviors, both in private contexts, like our homes, and in public ones, like our workplace. However, the rates of green behavior tend to be lower at work. Contextual factors can limit our green behavior. So that's why understanding the environmental behavior of employees can also improve companies' environmental performance, since all organizations are managed by people. Corporate environmental responsibility is a voluntary commitment beyond laws and regulations. So it's to contribute because the company cares about the environment and wishes to minimize its impact. Beyond environmental benefits, SER can potentially benefit many different aspects of the business performance, such as financial results, image and reputation, consumer attitudes, brand sustainability, future market value, competitive advantage, or innovation. All those benefits may attract companies to adopt SER for other reasons beyond the environmental. In fact, past studies have found that SER is frequently adopted as a response to conform to social and institutional pressures and strategic movements, such as government legislation, cost savings, marketing, and reputation. These non-environmental motives may affect how employees perceive their company as committed to SER. And this is why this is important to analyze. Recent studies show that as part of the organization, employees are more likely to adopt sustainable behaviors when they believe their company aims to achieve SER. A stronger perceived SER is related to more investment decisions of employees, voluntarily pro-environmental actions, and green societal behaviors. It can even spill over to other aspects such as employee performance or behavior outside the workplace. Our first hypothesis for this study is that adopting SER for environmental reasons will strengthen employees' perceived SER, which will increase employees' green behavior and the other way around. If this is the case, it would not only be enough for a company to engage in environmental programs, but also to display genuine reasons. We believe SER motives not only affect the way employees perceive their company, but also the way people perceive themselves as an environmental person. So if a company adopts SER for environmental reasons, employees may be more likely to perceive their company as truly environmental, and they will also be more likely to see themselves as pro-environmental persons and to act pro-environmental. This reasoning is aligned with social identity theory, which states that how people perceive themselves is partially influenced by the groups they are part of. We are adding ECI to our model as a mediating variable. To test our hypothesis, we conducted two studies. The first one was an experimental study with almost 300 students from the University of Groningen. It was an online study where participants were asked to imagine they were new employees of a company called TechStrends and given an online brochure with information on corporate environmental responsibility. The documents they received showed around 30 positive environmental goals, plans, and actions developed by the company since they implemented SER in 2016. Then we manipulated the company's SER motives by showing participants a fictional conversation with their immediate manager regarding SER adoption. The motives were either environmental or financial. Participants were randomly assigned to the environmental, financial, or control groups where they didn't receive any motive. We measured then enrolled green behavior. Participants were told they were in charge of developing 3 new products in their organization, with 2 alternatives to choose from for each scenario based on 3 different attributes: expected sales, environmental performance, and cost of production. Each scenario showed a different conflict, low, medium, and high, between financial and environmental performance. One of the scenarios consistently scored higher on environmental performance than the other. The inclusion of this type of behavior seeks to explore whether motives to adopt SER impact their task-related decisions, in this case, environmental performance over financial attributes when facing a new investment. We also measured intentions to engage in a set of voluntary green behaviors. These actions correspond to 4 categories: nutrition, like eat organic food at work, reduce meat consumption at work; transportation, such as avoid using the car to commute, work from home, use online tools to reduce traveling, work or use a bike or public transportation to visit local clients or suppliers. Third, energy, using the stairs instead of the elevator. And fourth, recycling, using their own mugs to drink in, recycle work-related materials, and so on. Then we conducted a Pearson correlation test showing that all categories were positively related. And also, we conducted exploratory factor analysis indicating that all items fit under the same EGB construct. We conducted 2 analyses to test our hypothesis. First, a preliminary test using Well-Canova, which showed that share motives influenced their perceived share. More specifically, share perceptions were significantly lower in the financial condition compared to the environmental and control groups. Against our expectations, there was no significant difference between the control and environmental groups. Second, we built a regression model where we found that the environmental motives did not relate to perceived share, and this was excluded from the final model. The final model showed a positive fitness. The standardized direct effect of financial motives on perceived share, as you can see, showed a negative impact of minus 29. Thus, our hypothesis was partially met. Offering financial motives negatively influenced how employees perceive their company as committed to share. However, against our expectations, there was no difference between environmental and control groups. Hence, environmental motives did not strengthen share perception compared to not receiving any reasons. This was the same results we found in the preliminary test. We also found direct relationship between perceived share and EGB intentions. The more robust employees' share perception are, the stronger their pro-environmental choices. Our third hypothesis was that environmental self-identity mediates the share-EGB relationship, which was supported by the data, since the indirect effect of perceived share on EGB intentions via environmental self-identity was significant. Also, the disaggregated effects show that ECI is directly related to investment behavior. We replicated the previous model to test if share motives also affect environmental in-role behavior. The model passed again the fitness test. The results obtained for voluntarily EGB were found again for green investment behaviors. The total negative effect of financial motives on green investment behavior was significant. Perceived share also displayed a significant direct effect on green investment intentions. The stronger employees perceived their company as committed to share, the stronger their consideration of environmental attributes when designing a new product. Environmental self-identity mediates the perceived share and employee green investment relationship, supporting our hypothesis. The indirect effect of perceived share on green investment when adding ECI as a mediating variable is significant. The stronger employees perceive their company as committed to share, the more they see themselves as environmental persons, and the more they value environmental over financial aspects when facing a product-related investment decision. Our second study was distributed to the European practice enterprises, obtaining 152 valid responses. The survey was distributed to managers and employees of different companies around Europe. Then we measure whether their company has implemented share, the perceived company's motives to adopt share, and the degree of participation in share plans. Also, we measured environmental self-identity and pro-environmental behaviors at work and at home. First, we wanted to explore whether companies with share and without share were associated with different EGB at the workplace. The independent sample t-test shows that employees working in companies with share reported higher EGB for all conditions compared to those without share. We could not replicate the previous regression model since it didn't fit the sample size and model fitness requirements, so we conducted a simple linear regression. The results from the regression suggest that share motives explained about 18% of the variance. Believing their company has implemented share for policies has implemented green policies for environmental reasons significantly predicted SER perception. Also, a person data analysis revealed that the moderate positive correlation around 0.43. Participants who believed their company adopted SER for environmental reasons reported higher levels of perceived SER. However, thinking that the company adopted SER for non-environmental reasons does not seem to influence how employees perceive their company's aims to realize SER. Two simple linear regressions were conducted to test if perceived SER significantly predicts EGB in the workspace. The regression results indicated that the model explained about 22% of the variance and the model was significant. We found that perceived SER was significantly predicted in role EGB but not extra role EGB. The main aim of this study was to test if SER motives influence the EGB of employees, and our expectations were partially met. Adopting SER for financial reasons weakened perceived SER compared to adopting SER for environmental reasons or not providing any reasons. Financial motives somehow backfire on the positive effects of SER on employees. However, we did not find significant differences between the environmental and control groups. That is, environmental motives did not increase SER perception compared to not giving any motives. Our data suggests that environmental motives are somehow expected, and offering congruent information doesn't further strengthen the way employees perceive the SER of the organization. The second study showed that participants who believed their company adopted SER for environmental reasons reported higher levels of perceived SER. One explanation may be that the default is that employees assume SER is adopted for environmental reasons. If companies increase the extent to which they think the company adopts SER for environmental reasons, it can strengthen perceived SER. Additionally, we supported our hypothesis that there was a positive relationship between perceived SER and EGB intentions, since results from both studies display similar results. Also, our findings support the mediating effect of environmental self-identity in the psychological process behind the perceived SER-EGB relationship. This suggests that the extent employees as part of the company see their company as committed to SER affects the way they see themselves as environmental persons, which in turn affects the likelihood of engaging in green actions. We also tested whether the motives to adopt SER may lead to contextual spillovers, for example, employee green behavior at home, finding that perceived SER is only indirectly related to environmental action in other contexts via environmental self-identity, but not directly. One of the main implications for companies is to pay attention not only to their actions, but also to their motives, since they show that the actual intentions are commitments. Even if they are expected, it's essential to ensure employees are aware of them. This could be done by adding them to the company's communication, reports, and training plans. Also, immediate managers are essential in translating the information from the corporation to the office. Well, thanks for your attention. You can reach out to me at this email using this QR code. Have a nice conference.